Good afternoon, Saturday people. I happen to have a game. I happen to have 3 games, actually. This is one of them. It's a little tournament series I'm going to have going on from the tournament I was in last night, where you can only use normal-type Pokemon and Ghost-type Pokemon on your team. It made certain wall combos ineffective. It made certain Pokemon just really shine, and overall, it made for a really, really fantastic time. So, given the criteria, I had been testing out a team on PO for around a week and a half. It's what I was doing in my spare time between jobs, you know, just traveling on bus, just playing PO on the phone. And you know what? This team actually didn't really disappoint me. I went undefeated except for the final match, and it just ended up being pretty cool. So, this is probably the best game I had that night, though undeniably the best game. So I lead off with Specs Rotom. Specs Volt Switch really doesn't do that much to a Dusclops because, well, it's a fucking Dusclops. That thing can take hits for weeks. But I happen to have an Ursaring for my status fodder, so if it gets poisoned, I don't care. If it gets T-waved, I do not care. If it gets paralyzed, once again, I do not care. It's going to get one of the 3. That's its job. And I'm just going to go ahead and go for the crunch right off the bat. As you can see, it does like a really nice, like 65 to 70% to an Aegislash. And that's just unboosted. That's just me coming in and just going for an attack because I have Guts, I have a super effective move, and I'm going to have a field day with this thing. So, she actually predicts my Sword Stance very nicely. I go for the Sword Stance, actually predicting her to go for the King Shield. And in comes the Staraptor. Now, people were quickly realizing as the weeks were creeping up until the point of the tournament, that Staraptor was a massive, massive threat in this tournament. There was literally only maybe 2 things. There was 2 to 3 things that walled it. Basically just electric types, steel types, but normal Rotom is one of the things that can take a hit. Just regular physical walls, but typing-wise, the only thing that was really a hard counter to it was Aegislash. So that was basically my goal with my team, to take out the Aegislash and bring in my own Staraptor. But since she has her own Staraptor and also her own Kecleon, which I realize is also going to be a trooper in this game, I had to play around this thing a lot. Anytime you see me Staraptor in this tournament, you got to play around it. And I fought it a lot along with X-Bloods. I fought X-Bloods a lot too, and they were kind of nasty. So, this Cofagrigus is max HP, max defense. It also does not have Pain Split because I did not realize that was an egg move. So, we have Haze for our final move slot because I really don't have anything else better to go with. If I had HP Fighting, I'd run that, but I just have to, I don't know, I have to breed a different one going on. I'm realizing that Ursaring is probably not going to be able to take out Miltank because it's slower. It's a little bit fragile. It's got a good amount of HP, but its defenses really aren't great, so I don't see it taking a body slam after toxic damage or anything like that. That turn, going back to that, though, that was really important. That was just me explaining that I foddered Ursaring, but I did not know her X-Blood was Scarf. She told me afterwards. So if I had gone into anything else other than Staraptor to go for the Brave Bird, this match could have been very different. I would have been -1 Pokemon to take a Boom Burst. It just would have been really nasty. But thankfully, just an adamant, reckless Brave Bird is able to take it out clean from stock. And now we're into our next threat, which is Kecleon. So Kecleon is great in this tournament because you can toggle between normal, ghost, and dark type on the fly with priority for every single one of those things. And it hits just about everything in this tournament super effectively as well. If you're running normal, dark, and fighting coverage, and you can fly between the 3 of them, it's great. It's actually great. It doesn't shine as well in this game. Well, you know what? We'll see. Maybe this is the game. I totally forgot. But we have random stuff going on the screen. I'm just talking about what I was thinking about at the time. But now is when I should be talking, because I really don't know what I'm doing during these couple of turns, because I've never seen a Dusclops set like this. I've heard of Toxic and I've heard of Infestation, but this is my first time actually experiencing it. So I was like, well, this thing's poisoned, and I have Hex on this Cofagrigus, so I'm just going to go for it. But I was like, well, Will-O-Wisp, maybe? Question mark? She's going to switch? No, she's probably not going to switch. Whatever. I'm just going to talk until this thing dies, honestly. Like, it was really weird. Oh, also, Infestation triggers Mummy, so that's a thing. If that ever becomes relevant to you, and you have the option to use Infestation on something with a contact ability, that shit happens. So, no pressure, no problem, whatever. Fuck, now that I'm trying to remember what to talk about, I really don't remember what I wanted to talk about. All wall combos pretty much look the same. It was either Porygon 2 and Blissey, or like Dusclops and Cofagrigus, or just like a mix of the two. People would randomly squish Aegislash in there as well. But it made it really easy for something with fighting type and dark type coverage to just come in and just do some pretty nasty stuff. Kecleon comes in, though, and picks the, this was an interesting, this is where, okay, let me explain this. So, first off, this is really important because Kecleon can no longer change types. It is stuck as Ghost until it switches out. I did not think this was actually going to come into play, but it actually comes into play immediately on the next turn without fail. I was like, okay, you know what? It's really not gonna be that big a deal. She's gonna end up switching out, and that's just gonna be the end of that. Or you know what? It's not this turn. It's totally not this turn. She goes for a sub. She also does not get stab on this power-up punch. Pretty relevant. She actually does predict my sub very nicely, though, because if she goes for Sucker Punch and I sub, then it fails. If she has Fake Out, then Fake Out also fails. Actually, no, she doesn't have Fake Out. She has the exact same set I do, but instead of having Fake Out, she has Recover. So we haven't seen her item yet, though, and I think it actually came into play right there where she ends up red carding me out and recovering back to a good amount of HP. I think Kecleon kind of needs the Life Orb going on, because otherwise it just doesn't have the stopping power, but this tournament had item claws, so that's what you work with, honestly. But right there, the fact that she was not a Dark type on the Sucker Punch means that I was actually able to take it out from that range. So the Recover was in vain, but I actually end up losing out on my Staraptor, unfortunately, just because of the amount of recoil, because I took out all that freshly recovered HP. So to double down on that one, and I'm able to bring in my my normal Rotom, who was actually a pretty nice little friend to have, but this moment right here was terrifying, and she knew damn well what she was doing when she put this berry on, because this is a Moringa berry, and when you get hit with it, your special defense raises. I'm not sure if that was a +1 or a +2. If it was +2, I get the feeling people would use it a lot more often. But she also goes for a curse, which means she's at +1, +1, or +1 attack, +1 defense. I think +1 special defense or +2. I didn't see if it was sharply or was regularly. I think it was regularly. But Carmen's gonna have a field day here. Just go for a Fake Out, and because I got one layer of Toxic Spikes up, I just let it get racking up a little bit. I don't know if she has a Heal Bell or anything like that either. I just see Milk Drink. That's all I see this entire time. But it lets me go for power-up punches freely. I didn't really catch on what she was doing, letting me go for power punches the entire time, until I realized that she was actually just Life Orb stalling. That was basically the only thing going on there. I don't really have anything else I can hit her with, though, because I already used up my Fake Out. Shadow Sneak does not affect her. Sucker Punch won't affect her if she keeps going for Milk Drinks. So she's literally just sitting here, let me get attack boost, and just lets me get a good amount of Sucker Punches, or not Sucker Punches, Power-Up Punches. And I'm ultimately going to end up knocking it out when she stops going for a recovery move, because the attack is just, you know, it's going to climb. It's going to climb a lot. She gets a paralysis on here, too. I thought this was going to come into play on the next turn, but it turns out it doesn't, I think. No, it could have. It could have, now that I think about it, but it didn't. So Paralyzed Kecleon with 1 hit left in it. She goes into Aegislash and decides to go for a King Shield. I think that's okay, because the amount of attack I have right now, if I lose out on 2 stages, that's really not going to be that big a deal. As long as I get stabbed and I have +1 and I have Life Orb, I think I should be able to knock it out even in its defensive form. So I decided to go for a Sucker Punch on this one. And it turns out it just straight up knocks her out. So that's fantastic. Kecleon took out the Miltank, took out the Aegislash. That's basically what I really wanted it to do. But it turns out I lost my Staraptor beforehand. So hey, this is a really scary part of the game, because like, okay, I have a resistance to Staraptor. Let's get it. We're going to T-Bolt this thing, and that's going to be the end of the game. Except Adamant, or I think it's Adamant Brave Bird, but a fucking crit. Look at that. Oh my god. That my butthole clenched so hard, I felt like I was being sucked into another dimension. It was really scary. And it turns out that all I have left at this point is a 75% health Meloetta, and I thought it was going to be a tie because she's going to go for Brave Bird. She has close combat too, and I was like, oh god, it almost killed me, and thankfully it didn't kill me because I'm actually running max HP and not max speed. I made the impulse decision not to re-EV my Meloetta, and it paid off big in this tournament, because that's what saved me that game. And I won with a very, very, very narrow 1-0. And it was a fantastic game. That was the first time I'd played her. And I knew she was really good, and she definitely lived up to the reputation she had going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you did, you can definitely leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I've got 2 or 3 more games from this series that I'd be more than happy to upload after this. If you guys are digging it, let me know. I'll record them just in case. It's something a little different, and yeah, with that in mind, you guys can go ahead and comment, sub, do your thing, and I will definitely see you guys later. Bye.